Okay, here we are, Elizabeth. I've got your composition up. Well, let's go ahead and take a look. Now, the main thing I'm seeing is there's a lot of missing requirements here, and let's go through those requirements. The requirements I'm getting are from this page, Week 4, Assignment 4, Part 1, specifically the instructions, objectives, and design requirements. So let's go ahead and take a look at those requirements as they apply to your work. Now, the image must be dominant. Okay, image is dominant there. That crop is a little odd, though. It creates this space right here, and it seems like it separates that area from the rest of the composition. And we want synergy and harmony. So reducing this area here to this shape and trying to force elements into that shape right there, to me, is a little bit uncomfortable. So my recommendation is to think of a way that you can crop this image and present it so you're not forced to place elements in the negative space associated with the shape of the object. Does that make sense? If not, let me know. I'll see if I can clarify, but I think it's a pretty important consideration. Okay, image is dominant. That's good. So the image must be shown with somebody using it or interacting with it. We don't have that here. You must show an image, which is the result of using the object. We don't have that here. Must show at least two components. You have this component and this component. My recommendation is to add captions to those components. Describe what it is and why it's important to the object. I recommend placing captions in italic, smaller italic type. Must include the headline. Oh, okay, so you have your components. Must include the headline, design in everyday life. You have that. It must include a paragraph of body copy. You have that, and captions. So this, I'm not sure if this is a caption. It's set in bold, so it's drawing more attention than it really should. I don't recommend placing captions in bold. So the placement of this caption right here, we don't know if it's associated with this image or this image because it's kind of halfway between. Do you see what I'm saying? So be deliberate in your placement of captions. Make sure that the viewer knows exactly what image the caption belongs to. Again, captions should be smaller than body copy, and I recommend setting the captions on an italic. Must include that. Okay, white background only, asymmetrical design, 7 by 15. You got all that. Imagery must come in contact with the edge of the page twice. You've got that. I must combine images that are in boxes as part of a background and cropped individually with no background. All of yours are cropped individually with no background, so you have to include images that are in boxes, circles, or some other shape, a container, as it were. Full color, keep your image dominant, and it must use a grid. Okay, so those are the requirements to them, and let's make sure that all of those requirements are covered for your final submission on Sunday. And again, to review, those are covered in this week 4 assignment for Part 1 page. All right, let's go ahead and look at typography and layout. I think it's a good start. I think it's pretty interesting. I'll tell you one thing though, this headline right here is just begging to use a color from the image. My recommendation is to sample a color from the image, probably one of these pinks. You've got a whole array of different pinks to use here. My recommendation is to use something very subtle. So you sample an area out of now I wouldn't go with this really bright pink neon right here. I would go with something darker, like maybe right there. Sample that color and use that for your headline. Okay, your body copy, watch your rags. Your rags are kind of, well, they could use some attention now. In the course announcements, I do have an announcement on how to adjust your rags right there. As a matter of fact, while I'm in these course announcements, I want to draw your attention to these 4 announcements. Whoops, didn't want to do that. I accidentally opened that announcement. But when I just wanted this, welcome to week 4 all the way up. Okay, these 4 announcements. There's examples, tutorials, tips and tricks galore in these videos, and these 4 announcements really are going to pave the path for successful typesetting for the remainder of the course. So you definitely want to get in here and spend some time in there. Okay, there's examples in here and all sorts of stuff. How to complete assignment 4, tips and tricks. I show you examples. I show you how I actually dissect a very successful example of the assignment and show you why it's successful and things that you can do to ensure that yours displays the same level of proficiency. Okay, the typeset here, yeah, so watch your rags. Okay, you're set in all cap here. I do not recommend that. Setting type in all bold or all cap is synonymous with yelling. And we don't want the viewer to feel like they're getting yelled at. So let's not set the type in all cap. Other than that, I think things are looking pretty good. There's not really a whole lot to comment on here other than that we get the rest of those those requirements in there. Once we get those requirements in there, then start concentrating on typesetting. The 18 rules from week 4 lecture, one of the week 4 lectures, as well as all of the tutorials located in the announcements and within the course materials. So, okay, now at this point, if you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'd be glad to make any necessary clarifications. Okay, thank you very much.